All right, so welcome to the John Wick podcast. I've got two special guests on. We were supposed to have a third, but it didn't work out, which is fine. But Ricky will be on here hopefully within the next week or so. I'm going to try to get him on. We're going to do a roundtable, but wanted to bring back Tomahawk and Darth Man. So Carl and Mike, you guys obviously don't need to introduce yourselves, but welcome back, guys. It's good to have you back. Carl, uh, I'm gonna start with you, man. What's been going on with you the past week or so?
This past week, just living it up. I mean, I've really started to focus more on my own energy, knowing what energies around me and just how to react and just doing the best I can to just stay positive through all this. I mean, it's a total mess right now, but I know God's in control, so I'm just gonna have the best outlook I can and just spending time with the girlfriend and hanging with grandma.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, it's good to hear that your message really hasn't changed since the last time that I spoke with you, and that's just amazing. So, Mike, what's going on with you, man?
Well, I'm watching it snow its ass off again. I've had enough of the snow. I, you know, I've
Trust me, I snow.
I quit
I snow.
smoking for 5 days. I'm smoking one right now again. But
Well, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. Not in a negative way, but
no.
because I've got a challenge that I want to put out there to you guys. So, um, they, right before we got on this, we we got on this weird conversation about John Wayne, right? So, um, I for whatever reason, I've learned more about John Wayne in the past week at work, just talking with everybody at work that knows a lot about him, and he has kind of piqued my interest. Obviously, I love the Duke. I mean, who doesn't? But Carl, we were kind of talking a little bit about John Wayne, and kind of, and I said, put a pin in it. But let's revisit that. And what were you going to say about John Wayne and uh, how he was targeted?
Yeah. Just doing some John Wayne research. I'm on the same book as you. I mean, the freaking Duke, you can't go wrong. Um, Me and my grandma started we're just gonna binge watch all 179 John Wayne films.
Awesome.
We want to see every one of them. And so, just through that, we've started kind of just looking into him a little more, and you mentioned it earlier where it seems like his message is more prominent now than it
Mhm.
was at the time.
Yep.
And so it kind of piqued our interest and we're looking into it. And I found I haven't done excessive digging on it, but back in the 60s, Stalin kept hiring hitmen to come over and try to take out John Wayne solely based on his patriotism.
Right.
He was so American and just he made America look so good,
Yeah.
and they didn't want it. And I don't, I'll have to dig in deeper and get a lot more info, but I know it was multiple times that he sent hitmen to try to take out John Wayne.
Yeah. Which good luck taking out John Wayne.
Yeah, come on, you like
But
send an
that's
army, bro.
yeah. That's really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what you bring to the table on that. And it's interesting if you add up how many movies did you say? 179. If you add 1, 9, 7. Okay, just checking there. So
Yeah, no coincidences, man.
right. So
Right.
yeah. So Mike, do you know anything about John Wayne at all? Tell me something I do not know.
You know, just I've always liked John Wayne. I mean, you're an idiot if you didn't. you know, and,
Right.
and like the first thing that pops into my mind about John Wayne, and it kind of goes towards what you were saying there, Carl, was in what the hell was it? 1941, the movie. You
Mhm.
guys ever seen that?
Yep.
Yep.
With Slim Pickens? Well, you're probably going to bomb John Wayne's house. you know,
That's fitting.
like that was the first thing that come into my mind when you started talking about that, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh, well, I mean, it would make sense. Take out, someone that is, I mean, he was basically a national treasure.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very patriotic,
Second Amendment.
and yeah, so I mean, yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's crazy. The another random little fact I'll tell you guys that I found out this past week. I'm no John Wick expert, or John. Well, I am a John Wick expert, but I'm not
You
a
are a John
John.
Wick
I'm not a.
expert.
I'm not a John Wayne expert, but um, a lot of people don't know where he got the name Duke. Apparently, he had a dog. I don't know what kind of dog it was, but his dog's name was Duke, and he took that dog everywhere. So every time somebody saw John Wayne, they'd say, it's, oh, look, it's, Little Duke and Big Duke. And it just kind of stuck with him. But if you really get a second to like research John Wayne facts just about his life, it'll blow your mind. So the next thing I want to discuss, and this is
Well,
a
hold on,
really
man. Hold on.
what go ahead, Mike.
So one of the things that I usually watched, and miraculously it was just the other day, but I couldn't find it on,
Mhm.
was the movie where he was the boxer. And
I don't remember which one that was. I don't know that I've even seen it.
but they usually showed it on St. Patrick's Day.
Yes. Yep.
And I cannot remember for the life of me the name of that movie now.
I couldn't tell you. That's an interesting fact, though.
Yeah. But he
I'll
was an
definitely-
Irish boxer. I know that.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Carl?
I'll definitely, yeah, I'm gonna do some digging now. Now I have to figure out the name of that movie because I know exactly which one you're talking about too.
Okay. So, one of the actually another thing that we were talking about earlier, go figure, between the three of us, right now there's there's a really big issue as far as how to be a parent. That's what I'll say. So, all of us now, the three of us, we either have kids or we're around kids. What Mike, I'm actually going to start with you if that's okay. Like how do you feel about discipline now, and kind of the effect that the um government has had on that as a parent?
Like with me, like I strongly believe in discipline. And like, I know it's gonna sound corny as fuck when I say this, but look at the Back to the Future movies. Okay. And you got Strickland, the principal.
Yep.
And he always said, discipline, discipline, discipline. Remember that word, son, discipline. And it was like, I remember as a kid, it was right about the time when they started with all the bullshit in the schools of, if your parents, discipline you or, spank you, you need to tell us about it and blah, blah, blah.
Right. Because it's a bad thing, right?
Yeah. And I'll never forget my dad's words of, well, you can go ahead and tell them, but that'll be after you get your ass whaled.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, and you know what? Hey, I was never beat, but I was disciplined. I mean, and that is one of the major fucking problems with this country now.
Yeah. I agree, man. I mean, I remember it was either the the switch, the paddle, yardstick, belt, whatever it may have been. That was one of my fears, not necessarily in a negative way. Obviously it was at the time, but
Right.
If I spray painted my parents' basement, which I did as a kid, if I spray painted their basement and my mom said, your dad will be home in 3 hours and 17 minutes, I I was terrified. And it was the waiting.
You were looking for a pillow to shove down your pants.
So it's funny you mentioned that. I didn't use pillows. My go-to was socks. So yeah, we're kind of on the same lines. But
Yep.
yeah. So Carl, what's your take on this, man? I know you've got kids yourself, and do you run into any struggles, and how does this affect you as a parent?
The government overreach has really been out of control. I actually, and again, I can't believe you brought it up. No coincidences, but I just did a thread earlier about Colorado Senate Bill 21-182, where
What
it
what is that?
literally it lays out that schools are no longer going to discipline kids.
Wow.
And I don't mean if they trip a classmate, they don't get in trouble. If they bring a gun to school, they will not be disciplined for this action. It's a complete protection for criminality in the school system. It's passing in the Senate right now here in Colorado. Governor Polis is signing off on it. It's just going to do so much damage. So really, for me, I have three daughters, 14, 11, and 9. Discipline is very important to me, not to the point where, growing up, I knew the sound of my dad's truck.
Yeah.
The truck pulled in the drive and automatically you just tensed
Yeah.
because who knows what you did
Even if
piss
you
him
do
off.
something amazing in the day, your butthole's still gonna hurt.
Exactly. Every single time that diesel rolled in and you just went shit. So I try not to be that excessive with them. What I really try to do is, especially with my youngest, she's labeled ADHD, blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
I don't even deal with that shit. I think it's an excuse. I just try to tell her the main discipline that I give my kids is control yourself.
Yeah.
I want you disciplined in controlling your emotions and controlling your feelings and controlling the way you act at things. If you do something fucked up,
Yeah.
you're going to have consequences. If you do it again, the consequences are going to be worse. But we're going to figure out what led you to that decision to begin with, and we're going to root it out right where it starts.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's awesome, dude.
and
Go ahead.
No, just like you were saying, the government overreach as far as how much power a parent has over their kids is it's getting out of control. They're not even leaving us with the option of disciplining anymore.
Right. Yeah, that, like you said, the government wants full control, and it's absolutely out of control, and it needs to stop. Um, so one of the things that I asked you guys before this is, right now there's a lot of negative energy out there, and I think one of one of our positions that we need to take as leaders, this is just my own personal opinion, is we need to lift others up. So one of the things I asked you guys is kind of what inspires you on a day to day, like what excuse me, what keeps you going at the end of the day. And Mike, I'm gonna pass the buck to you, man. What keeps you going, man?
Honestly, it goes back when I was streaming, and I would have people come in that were watching me from like a hospital bed or something like that. And I would get private messages of, hey, you made me laugh today. And honestly, I'd sit there and read these, and it would actually make me cry.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay. So I kind of made it a goal for a stream of, if I can make one person laugh during the stream, I did a good job tonight.
Yep. You're 100%.
And I've taken that now, and that's why I put out those goofy ass freaking refaces and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I have random fucking tweets where I just want to make people laugh, man.
Yeah.
I've always been that way. I've I don't know. I like to laugh. I like to have a good time and all that. And if I can lift someone up, hey, I did my job for the day, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And what you just said reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. Um, a day without laughter is a day well wasted. And Charlie Chaplin said
Yeah, we actually talked about that last
that. Yeah,
podcast.
we did. So it all comes full circle. So we'll circle
Mhm.
back. We'll circle back next.
Yeah, we circle back on that.
So thanks, Mike. Carl, I can already tell one thing that keeps you motivated, and that's your three girls. But what really gets you going with your everyday drive and motivation, man?
You know, it really is those three girls that really keeps me going. They're my entire motivation for life. And especially here lately, I've really come to realize that what is really important in this life. And I made the choice. I was young. I had my first kid at 20.
Mhm.
It married and planned. It by the book.
Yep, perfect
But I was
checklist, right?
I was young and I didn't quite understand what it meant to be a parent. And just even over these last 3 years of finally understanding, like, wait, I don't have kids in the sense that I just reproduced and now I have these miniature versions of me running around. It is, I am raising people who are going to grow up in this world, this mad, crazy world, and
Mhm.
they need purpose, direction, focus. And my only goal in life is to make sure that every one of those girls end up better than me.
Wow.
And then I try to translate that, into everything I do. I go to Twitter and I see somebody, being negative or being down. And I think, how would I want somebody to conversate with one of my daughters if they
Mhm.
were feeling this way?
Mhm.
And that's kind of where my whole mindset, when I first got, I was a dick, dude. I
Uh,
mean,
Trust me. So
you know,
so was
I
I.
was just
We
I
clashed
was
heads.
just on there to fight. Oh yeah, me and you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
I
on there
definitely gotta say I've changed my tune a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah, and but I think it's a little bit of the collective mindset. I know the hive mind and all that.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But I really think it is the more people that become in tuned with what this life actually is, that's what's going to change the world. It's not this materialistic, look at my house, look at my
Yeah.
car. That's not what it is. The only thing that matters in this life is the energy you put out and the energy you bring in.
Yeah.
So just and I
Yeah, and definitely surround yourself with the energy that you want to be surrounded with and receive. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, Mike.
ex- exactly.
You're 100%. And that's you. I mean, what you guys said just now was it's what it's all about, like you said, Carl. And you know, it's funny, Mike. You mentioned the energy piece and how that plays into it. Um, Candy taught me a lot about that, and I never have experienced energy, period, or even known what to look for until I met her, and until you guys just mentioned that. So that's awesome that it all kind of goes together. And um, just to add on
Well,
to what you said, Carl, when I I'm 100% with you when you said your mindset has changed or your tweets have changed or your way of life has changed. I'm not the same person as I was yesterday. And that's a good thing. But I got into an argument with someone yesterday on, well, I didn't get into an argument, but I did get into an argument, kind of the same thing that I told you, Carl. This was maybe a year ago with this guy. And we
Right.
reconnected, and he's a great guy. And I'm a firm believer, like, if you show humility, and it doesn't matter if it's publicly or privately with somebody that you did wrong. If you show humility, it will build your character, and it will build others up at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely. And it all leads to nothing but personal growth.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So last thing I'm gonna say, and you guys are gonna hate me for this. So I told you that I was gonna put a challenge out there, and you didn't know anything about it, and you don't. So I'm totally throwing you guys a curveball. But my challenge to you guys tonight, and I'm gonna do it with you. So we're all in this together. I challenge both of you to do a 3-day water fast.
In, all the way in.
Okay, Mike.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Okay, that was easy. And reason being, Mike, is I know that you're trying to quit smoking. I mean, let's just say it like it is. And Carl, I know that you're not necessarily trying to quit smoking or whatever, but I'm sure you have specific benefits that would benefit from this. But I'll tell you guys, the last time I did it, I guess it was maybe a week and a half ago, for 3 days, I felt the second day's rough, but after the 3 days, I felt like I could do anything. And if there's anybody that I would love to do it with, is you guys, because you guys are my support, my infantry. So I think we need to just fucking kill it, guys.
I agree, dude. I mean, and you know, all these toxins that they pump into us through everything we eat, everything we drink, you know, and actually, I'm actually on the verge of quitting smoking myself too. I've talked to a certain someone about it. So
Okay.
it is in the works. And I think you're right. I mean, I think it was perfect timing that you put that out there, because I'm finally to the point where I'm like, you know what? I went paintballing with my nephew yesterday, dude, and I got my ass kicked. Like, shit, I gotta quit this, because if if anything does break out, I'm gonna be on the 20-yard line huffing and puffing. So
Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. Like, I don't expect you to. It's not about necessarily the nicotine. That would be great. You could do that in 3 days, but it's more so about if you can do. If I'm telling you, if you can do a water fast for 3 days, that means that you can overcome anything. So right now, like, let's just. I mean, it's 9:07 Eastern Standard Time, so we'll start it at 12:17 a.m. my time.
word.
Works for me.
So what? That's 10 here, Darth.
I think so.
That would
Yeah.
be that would be 10
10:17.
17 your time. So
All right. So fill us in on this water fast.
it's real simple. You you just drink water.
Just water. That's it.
Yeah.
That works.
So and obviously if you guys I want to put this disclaimer out there. I had a little bit of a guide behind my fast, but don't, if you get nauseous, you will get nauseous. It's not if it's when, but you're going to get nauseous, and just drink water throughout the day. I recommend at least a gallon and a half on a fast, but I'll be getting with you guys on specifics tomorrow and kind of checking in. But I think, and the reason why I wanted to do this was not only for you guys to see how you would benefit from it, but I want other people to really see a little bit of sacrifice and the benefits from it, if that makes sense.
Oh no, and I think it's great. I mean, not only are we going to have you who has experienced this and has seen all the positivity come out of it, but now there's going to be more of us able to spread the word, like, hey, no, you got to listen, this works, man. So I'm all in, dude, all in.
Now I've done some water fast in the past, and something that does help too is a little bit of lemon juice in the water.
For the acidity.
Yep. And it also helps clean your kidneys and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's I'm glad you mentioned that. But at the end of the day, it needs to happen, and I appreciate you guys stepping up. I mean, every time it's like every time I need you guys, you're always there, and I love you guys for that. And any closing words, Carl?
Oh, I'm just gonna stick with about the same I had last time. I mean, just everybody just keep your energy high, keep your vibes high. Stop focusing on the negative. The negative's gonna go away.
Mhm.
You know, the more positive you put out, it overpowers that negative, and you're not even gonna notice it or feel it anymore. Just have that positive mindset, know that God's in control. Everything's gonna work out the way it should. And I mean, just in a short few weeks, my life has changed exponentially. I could have never even expected what I'm going through right now
Yeah.
to be a possibility. So manifest what you want. You can do it. I promise.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Mike.
Yeah, 1017% there, man. Just keep it positive, you know. And I mean, like a lot of us are on Twitter and stuff, and you know, I'm not one to block someone. I hate that. But if you're getting negative vibes from someone, just mute them for a little bit.
Mhm.
Let them, you know, maybe they're going through something that they don't want to talk about, or don't want to put out there. And don't block them. Don't do that. But just kind of go from there and make up your own mind and just stay positive. Like yeah.
Makes sense, man. I mean, everybody deserves a second chance at the end of the day, and
Oh yeah.
so I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Mike. And you guys are awesome. We're gonna wrap this up. Um, and gosh, guys, appreciate you being on again. It's been another
Hey,
awesome pro. Go ahead, Mike
hey,
or Carl.
r- right before we go, Ryan, do you want to will you start a Twitter thread, and let's get this water fast thing, and then we can just kind of maybe update throughout these next 3 days and just fill everybody in on maybe what the day to day is. Like, oh shit, day two sucks, but
Yeah,
but it's going to be all right. And maybe we can just keep everybody a little more updated on what the process entails, and what we're feeling physically, mentally from it. And
mhm. Yeah,
let's see if we
absolutely,
can't make
man.
this a thing.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a great idea. I will definitely do that. And love you guys. Thanks for being on. And the
Yeah, love you
lions,
guys, man.
yeah, lions roar can be heard from 5 miles away.
Right on. Thank you, bro. I love you, man.
All right, peace out.